Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Mataji, one more. Chitra Mataji, to be made co-host, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, both Chitra Mataji's, yes, both Chitra Mataji's recite also. Chitra Ramaswamy Mataji. Yes, Prabhuji, thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you.
Hare Krishna. Okay, you have started. So let's start the chapter. So till now we have read chapter 2. Okay. And we have read about chapter 2 and all the Arjuna's confusion that dealt with the chapter 2, and chapter 2 was summary. And today we will read about third chapter, part 1. We will divide it into 2 parts. So part 1 we will read today, part 2 we will read later. Okay. So the chapter name is Karma Yoga. Okay. So how to work in the what should be our consciousness of working, how should be working, what is the karma, what is all those things we will be discussing in this lecture. Okay. So Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vishaya Bhudale Srimati Vedanta Swami Vinami Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurvani Charini Nirvishisha Shunyavadi Pashad Desarin Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivashadi Gaurvakrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare. So let's start the chapter. So in chapter 1 we have read about observing the army, and chapter 2 about Krishna's instruction. Okay, so based on that we have read all those things. So what were the 5 questions and 5 question answer we have read. Okay, the next. So this was the section from the second number 2. Chapter number 2. So we have read about further the out of Arjuna, then the Jnana Yoga, then Karma Kanda, then Buddhi Yoga, then Sthita Prajna. Okay, so what were the Sthita Prajna's features we have read yesterday. So we have read in details. Okay. So at last, Krishna was saying, become fixed in Krishna consciousness as well as fight. Okay. So both things Krishna was saying, and one confusion was also arising in Arjuna. So that chapter will start from that. So let's summarize this chapter, how many sections it will have. So it will have mainly 5 sections. So from 1 to 9 dealing with the confusion. So Arjuna's confusion will have one more confusion again Arjuna will have. That is, renunciation is good or working is good. Okay, so working is good or renunciation good. So should I renunciate this world, or should I go to Himalaya, or I should fight? So this was the Arjuna's confusion. Then in the section B, from the verse number 10 to 16, from Karma Kanda to Karma Yoga. So what is the Karma Kanda and Karma Yoga? We'll see in that. And from 17 to 35, Niskam Karma Yoga. So acting beautifully with detachment to set a correct example. Okay, so leaders will see what the leaders do and how the leaders' example will see. And then in at the last, from 36 to 43, about lust we'll see. Okay, so what is lust and how about lust we will see. We will be seeing. So the 4th part. Okay, so let's try to start it. So this is verse number 1 to 9, dealing with the confusion, renunciation, or working in Islam. Okay, so Arjuna's confusion is renunciation or action. So both. So which is good, renunciation or action? Okay, so renunciation or Jnana Yoga is difficult. Okay, so prescribed action with detachment, that is calm karma, is better for Arjuna. One should go from Karma Kanda to Karma Yoga. So in this 13 to 16 will read about renunciation and ISKCON, how the renunciation is difficult, and how one should act so that he is gradually elevated. Then later, from 17 to 35, even if Arjuna is qualified for renunciation, he should still do ISKCON to set the right example. So even the liberated person, even the person who are liberated, even Krishna is doing work. So why he is doing work, we'll read in this section, okay, section from the verses 17 to 35, and then from the 35 to 43, lust. God, lust. Lust is a formidable enemy on the path of yoga. So one should conquer lust by deliberate spiritual intelligence. Okay, so these four uh, uh, things will be. So this is the first section, renunciation of God. So Arjuna's uh, uh, confusion is renunciation of. Why Arjuna's confusion arose? Let's see. Okay, so Arjuna is asking which one is good, renunciation or action. Okay. So connection between the chapter number 2 and 3, we'll read from there. So in the Bhagavad
Hare Krishna. Can anyone hear Prabhuji?
my voice is coming.
Not for the last 2 minutes, Prabhu. We
Yeah,
didn't hear you. Sorry.
I was getting called that. Okay, so in the 2.49, Krishna was telling Arjuna to keep all the abominable activities far distant by buddhi. Okay, and Arjuna was thinking that buddhi means intelligence. By using his intelligence, he should avoid all the abominable activity and thus not fight. So he should use the intelligence and not fight. So he was thinking like, still Krishna is urging him. Krishna is telling him to fight, urging him to fight. So he was thinking, okay, Krishna is also telling me to use the intelligence, worship with intelligence, and he is also asking me to fight. So he is confused between them. He should worship by him by intelligence only. That means worship by intelligence. He is thinking like I should renounce all the work. I should go to a secluded place and I should worship Krishna by my intelligence. So that is he is thinking. Or if that is good, then why Krishna is urging me to fight? So he is thinking like that. Okay, so chapter 3 begins with Arjuna's question to clarify this contradictory instruction. According to Arjuna, renunciation, jnana, and work are incompatible. So he was thinking, okay, you are telling me to renounce all the things, and still you are telling me to work. So how I can understand both the things? So he's asking which is good. Both I cannot do. So which is good? Renunciation is good or work is good? Okay. That's was the Arjuna's question. Yes, we will recite.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandot Pranam.
Dandvat Mataji.
Om Shri Paramatmane Namaga Ata Tritiyodhyayaga Karma Yogaga Arjuna Vacha Jayasi Chet Karmanaste Mata Buddhir Janardana Tatkim Karmani Ghore Ma Niyojayasi Keshava.
So Arjuna is saying, oh Janardana, oh Keshava, why do you want to engage me in this ghastly warfare if you think that intelligence is better than the positive work? Why do you want to engage me in this ghastly warfare if I can surrender to you with my intelligence? So which is good? That is meaning is which is good, intelligence or that is renunciation is good or work is good? So this is the question by the Arjuna. Okay.
व्यामिश्रेणेव वाक्येन बुद्धिं मोहयसीव मे तदेकं वद निश्चित्य येन श्रेयोगमाप्यमाम्.
So Krishna is saying here, ekam vada. Okay, tad ekam vada nishchitya means tell me with one of those two. Okay, ekam vada means tell me one of those two. So which is good? Okay, so Krishna Arjuna is saying Shreyaso. Okay, the word here is Shreyaso. What is good? What is better for me? Not two words are there. Priyasa and Shreyas. Shreyas means what is better for me. Priyas, what I love. So Arjuna is asking here, what is better for me between the two, renunciation or work? Okay. So he's saying, my intelligence is bewildered by your equivocal instructions. Okay. Therefore, please tell me decisively which will be most beneficial for me. So which one of these two is more beneficial? Which one is better for me? Okay. So
Shri Bhagavanuvāca Lokesmin Dividitha Nishta Pura Pokto Maya Naga Jnana Yogena Sankyana Karma Yogena Yoginam.
okay, so Shri Krishna is now telling the answering. He is answering. So what he is answering? Dvividha Nishta. So two types of Nishta is there. Two types of people are there who are trying to discover the self. So there are two types of people, Arjuna. What are these two types of people? Jnana Yogena Sankhya. Okay, so one who is like who is through uh, philosophical study trying to reach me, and the other is karma yogena yogina, who is doing karma yoga. So two types of people are there. One who is doing the philosophical work, and another is doing the karma yoga. That is karma yoga is doing their activity as well as remembering Krishna at that time. So this is the karma yoga, and jnana yoga is philosophical studies about the Lord. Okay. So let's read the meaning. Oh, the blessed Lord said, "Oh, sinful Arjuna, I have already explained that there are two classes of men who realize the self." So there are two types of men. Okay, what are the two types? Some are inclined to understand him by the empirical philosophical speculations, so mental activity. He's trying to speculate, mentally speculate. He's trying to think about the philosophy. Okay, so the first type of people. And the second type of people, and other are inclined to know him by the devotional work. So others are there who are trying to know him by the devotional work. Okay, so two types of people are there. So the two types of people are described here. So okay, so two types of people are there. One is Sankhya Yoga and another is Buddhi Yoga. Okay, Sankhya Yoga means philosophical speculation. So knowing what is our body constitutes of, what is who are we, Atma, and what is Paramatma. So these types of speculation, so speculative studies. Okay, so one is Sankhya Yoga, philosophical speculation, another is the Buddhi Yoga. Okay, that is direct Krishna consciousness or direct serving the Lord. So this is the two types of things. Okay. So let's review the difference. So Sankhya Yoga is the indirect path. What is the meaning of indirect path? And the Buddhi Yoga, that is Krishna consciousness, is direct path. What is the meaning of direct path? So every work, every speculation, whatever things we are doing, even the Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, everything will lead us to Krishna only. So at last we are aiming at Krishna only. So we can aim directly to Krishna or indirectly. So indirectly, what is the meaning of indirect? Direct path is if you are doing direct bhakti, then that is a direct path. And indirect path is after philosophical speculation, they will come to know that Krishna is the supreme Lord, and then they will start doing the bhakti. Okay, that is also a different path, but that is also will lead to Krishna only. So that is called the indirect path. Okay, so two paths are there. Okay, so two paths are there. One is called indirect path, and other is called direct path. So two paths are there. Okay, you can see here. Another difference is dependence on personal endeavor. Okay, so Sankhya Yoga is dependence on personal. So mental speculation you are doing, then it depends on how much your reading capacity is there, how much Sanskrit you know, how much mental activity you can do. So it depends on your personal endeavor. But Buddhi Yoga, that is Krishna consciousness, or Bhakti Yoga depends on the Krishna's mercy. So you are completely dependent on Krishna. Okay, so you are serving Krishna and you are completely dependent on Krishna. So these two types are there. Okay, the process of depending entirely on the Supreme is the Buddhi Yoga. Third is unsure of success. So you can get the success, you cannot get also the success. So because it is not dependent on Krishna, mental speculation is there. So high chances of failure is there. Okay, so unsure of success. But if you are dependent on Krishna, there is surety of success. Okay. Initial purification required by prescribed duty. What is the meaning of this? Okay. So what happens? Many people try to control the senses actively by mind. Okay, but their mind is dwelling on the sense object. So they are called mithyachari. They are called pretender. So they for them direct renunciation of this worldly worldly activities are not recommended. First, we need to purify ourselves. Okay. After purification, if we are purified, then only we can renounce. Okay. So that is the thing. So renunciation comes only after purification. If you are not purified yourself, then you are not fit for the renunciation. Okay, so initial purification is required by the prescribed duty. So for a varnashrama there, okay, four varnashrama are there. So first, if you look, the first is the brahmachari, second is the grihastha, third is the vanaprastha, and fourth is the sannyasi. So fourth ashram is the sannyasi. So these three ashrama, that is sannyasi, grihastha, and vanaprastha. These three are meant for the purification, and at last sannyasi is there. Okay, so these four stages are there. So these are there. So initial purification is required for the prescribed duty. So you cannot renounce directly. So this is the thing. But in this side, Bhakti Yoga, end and mean are the same. So Krishna consciousness itself is the purificatory process. So if you are doing the process, that is itself a purificatory process. So it will do the purification as well as lead to the purification also. So that is the thing. The process as well as the end result, both are same. Okay. Yes, Mataji.
कर्मणामनारम्भान् नैष्कर्म्यं पुरुषोत्नुते न च सन्न्यासनादेव सिद्धिं समधिगच्छति.
Not by abstaining from work can one achieve freedom from reaction. So if you are abstaining yourself from work, if you are not doing any work, then also you cannot achieve freedom from the reaction. Nor by renunciation alone can one attain perfection. So if you are doing only renunciation or if you are doing only work, then both way we cannot attain the supreme. Okay.
Nagi kachchit shamapi Nagi kakshit shanamapi jatu nishtratya karma krite karyate hyavashak karma sarva prakriti jairgunaihi.
So everyone is forced to act helplessly according to the qualities he has acquired from the mode of material nature. Therefore, no one can refrain from doing something, even not for a moment. So what is the meaning of this? Okay, try to understand. Everyone is forced to act helplessly according to the qualities he has acquired from the mode of material nature. So everyone is forced to act. Okay, even if you don't want to do anything, you will be doing the things because you will be forced from the material nature. Okay. Therefore, no one can refrain from doing something, not even for a moment. Okay. So what is the meaning? The meaning is we are active in nature. That means we cannot refrain from activity even for a moment. Even for a moment, we cannot sit silently. Our mind must act. Okay, so it must act. So there are two kinds of activity it can do. Okay, so it can. It must act. First thing is you cannot keep your mind, your intelligence sit at one place silently. It has to work because it is so that. So now under which direction it is acting? It can act under Krishna, it can act under Maya. Okay, two things are there. So it can be engaged under Krishna's service, it can be engaged under Maya service. Okay, so these two things are there. So the soul is there, soul is engagement. So it can be engaged in Krishna's service, it can be engaged by Maya. Okay, that is occupation dictated by illusionary energy. So according to the mode of nature, if you are working, then so you will be working under the mode of nature. So these are the dharma, the calm modes for these things will be working. So these will cause bondage. Why this will cause bondage? Because if you are working as a material nature, the path you will do or punya will do, and both will cause attachment. Even Pap will cause attachment, even Punya will cause attachment. Okay, so both will cause attachment to this material world. But if yourself under Krishna, then what will happen? There is no loss. Even if there is fall down, even if there fall down, there is no loss, because you will start from that point in the next life, like that. Okay, so soul is always acting. Soul is always active. You cannot sit. Soul cannot sit. So it should always do some activity. Okay, so Krishna is saying that renunciation is very, very difficult. Actually. You cannot control the mind. Okay, you cannot control. So it should be always active. Okay. So soul in contact with material nature acquires mode of material nature. Okay. According to Vedas, there is prescribed duty recommended in the Shastras. Prescribed duty purify the soul from the affinities and it leads to Krishna consciousness. What is the meaning? So when we do our prescribed duty according to Shastra, that will lead to purification of ourselves, and then gradually this will lead to Krishna consciousness. Okay.
कर्मेन्द्रियाणि संयम्य आस्ते मनसा स्मरन् इन्द्रियार्थान् विमूढात्मा मिथ्याचारस उच्यते.
So who is a mithyachari? Whose mind is dwelling on the sense object, and he is trying to control his senses. Okay, he is trying to control his senses artificially, and his mind is dwelling on the sense object. That is a mithyachari. So two types of people are there. One are mithyachari people, and one are true yogis are there. Okay. So what is true yogi? What is mithyachari? So mithyachari is their mind is not controlled, and their mind is dwelling on the sense object, and they are trying to control the senses. Okay, artificially trying to control the senses. Then that is called mithyachari. They are doing meditation. They are showing off their power, their majestic power for the living. Okay, for the living, so that they can get fame, they can get money, all those things. So they are called mithyachari. They are misusing those things. Okay, so they are called mithyachari. The other people are the true yogis. What are the true yogis? They will act, they will do their duties. Okay, they won't run away from their duty. The mithyachari will run away from the duty. They won't work for their duty. They will use their power, they will use their meditation to earn money, like that. Okay, but the true yogis, what they will do? They will do their duty. Okay, according to varnashrama dharma. So varnashrama is there, like Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, and Brahmachari, Grihastha, and Vanaprastha, Sannyasa. So these are the varnashrama systems. According to varnashrama system, their work divided to the people. So they will do their work. Okay, and the work they will do as a sacrifice. What is the meaning of sacrifice? They will do their work, but work they will do as a sacrifice to Vishnu, sacrifice to Krishna. What is the meaning? They will give the result of the work to Vishnu, they will give the result to Krishna. So in that way, this will lead to gradual progress in the devotional life, and this one is better. So two things are there. One who is renunciation, another who is acting and giving the result to Krishna. So that is the Nishkam Karma Yoga. Okay. So Nishkam Karma Yoga, one is doing, other is Mithyachari. So Krishna is answering now. One is Mithyachari, one is Nishkam Karma Yoga. So Mithyachari is not good, Archana. The one who is doing the Nishkam Karma Yoga, one who is acting according to the Varnashrama system and giving the and the duty he is doing as a sacrifice, that is better, because that will lead to gradual elevation. Okay. So one who restrains the senses of action, but whose mind dwells on the sense object, certainly deludes himself and is called a pretender. So he is deluding himself as well as he is deluding the society. He is misleading the society. Okay, and he is called a mithyachari, that is called a pretender.
यस्त्विन्द्रियाणि मनसा नियम्यारभतेऽर्जुन कर्मेन्द्रियैः कर्मयोगम् असक्तः स विशिष्यते.
So, on the other hand, if a sincere person tries to control the active senses by mind and begins Karma Yoga, so he is controlling the mind and he is doing Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga means he is doing the activity, he is giving the force to Krishna. Okay, and begins Karma Yoga in Krishna consciousness without attachment, he is far by superior. So two types of people: pretender, not good; the person who is doing Niskam Karma Yoga is far better. Arjuna, Krishna's answer. Okay. So there are two types of people. One is pretender, they are greater cheater. Shows to be the deep meditation, but his mind dwells on the sense object. So he shows that he is in deep meditation, but his mind is still on the sense object. His philosophy has no value because his philosophies are dry. He haven't felt those philosophies. So his philosophy is a dry philosophy. Okay. Knowledge is stolen by the illusionary energy of the Lord. So knowledge is there, but that is under Maya. Okay, so he's serving the Maya. In the other sense, in the other part, one is the pretender. In the other part, there people are there who are for the sense enjoyment is there. Okay, for the sense enjoyment, they are doing sense enjoyment, but according to the social order, that is Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyasa, they are following the rules and regulators of order, and that will lead to gradual progress. So, which one is better? This one is better. Okay, the person who is following the rules and regulations in order and doing the duty, that is better. Okay, a sincere person control his mind and engage in the Karma Yoga, that is Krishna consciousness without attachment. He is far more superior. Krishna's answer.
नियतं कुरु कर्म त्वं कर्म ज्यायो ह्यकर्मणः शरीरयात्रापि च ते न प्रसिद्धयेद् अकर्मणः.
So Krishna is saying, perform your prescribed duty. What is your prescribed duty according to Varnashram system? What is your duty to do that? Okay. For doing doing so is better than not doing. So you are not doing, then you are not good. If you are doing, then you are good. One cannot even maintain one's physical body without work. So if you are not doing, you cannot maintain your body also. So work is everyone should do work. Okay, but due to according to the prescribed duty, and the result of work should be submitted to Krishna. Okay.
यज्ञार्थात् कर्मणोऽन्यत्र लोकोऽयं कर्म बन्धनः तदर्थं कर्म कौन्तेय मुक्तसङ्गः समाचर.
So work has to be done, but how the work has to be done? As a sacrifice to Vishnu. So work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed, otherwise work will cause bondage in this material world. Okay. So if you are doing work for yourself, that will cause bondage. But if you are doing work for Krishna, if you are doing work as a sacrifice, then that work won't cause bondage. That work will cause gradual elevation in the path of devotional service. Okay. Therefore, O son of Kunti, perform your prescribed duty for his satisfaction, and in that way you will be always remain free from the bondage. Okay. So if you are doing activity for him, you won't have any bondage. You won't be bonded to this material world. Okay. So prescribed duties are there. So we should do prescribed duty and we should not leave the work. Okay. So prescribed duty is there. So person who is renouncing fall down since activities is given up before purifying the heart. So if your heart is not purified and you have given this activity, then fall down will be there. And if you are performing your prescribed duty, then it will lead to gradual purification of heart. Okay, then it will lead to gradual elevation of yourself in the Krishna consciousness. So Arjuna is Kshatriya as well as Grihastha. So he should engage himself in war, not renouncing and going to the forest. So work should not be given up capriciously without purification of materialistic propensity. So renunciation is there, sannyasa order is there, but that is the fourth order. Okay, that is the thing. So before that, we need to purify our heart. Okay, perform work as sacrifice to Vishnu, or work will cause bondage. Okay, so work is there. Work should be performed for the satisfaction of Vishnu. Okay. If we are doing the work for the satisfaction of Vishnu, it won't cause the binding, it will cause the liberation, gradual liberation. Okay. And this work for the Krishna, work under the Krishna consciousness should be done under the guidance of the spiritual master. And if we are doing the work under the guidance of the spiritual master, this will gradually elevate and develop transcendental loving service of God, and then we will be able to go back to the Godhead. Okay. And if you are doing action not for the Vishnu, then what will happen? then it will lead to either good action or bad action. Bad action. If you are doing work with the sense gratification, it will have two effects, either good action or bad action. And both good action as well as bad action will cause attachment to this material world. Okay. So now the first part is over. The now yoga ladder. What is the yoga ladder? Yoga ladder is means the progressive stages of yoga. Okay, so let's see. From the highest, is the bhakti yoga. Okay, then below the bhakti yoga is Ashtanga yoga, and below the Ashtanga yoga is Jnana yoga, and below the Jnana yoga is Niskam Karma yoga, then Sakam Karma yoga, Karma Kanda, and animal life. So what is the meaning? So so last is the animal life. Okay, so animals do not have any in this that will work and go to Krishna. So this is the lowest part. Okay, then the Karma Kanda. Karma Kanda means they are doing only the ritualistic work. Okay, what is ritual saying? Okay, we'll do this, we'll do that, we'll do. There is no, there is nothing called spiritual realization in these things. So these are going only for their body. Okay, then Sakam Karma Yoga. So you are doing the work, but with the results, you are attached to the results till now. Okay, so that is called Sakam Karma. And then after Sakam Karma Yoga, in the Sakam Karma Yoga, you are attached to the fruits of work, that is fame, wealth, those things you are attached. Then Niskam Karma Yoga. Niskam Karma Yoga means you are giving up the results. Okay, you are not attached to the results. Okay, so that is called Niskam Karma Yoga. And above the Niskam Karma Yoga is the Jnana Yoga. Jnana Yoga is by mental speculation we are searching about the God. So there is no one. So we are renunciation, but we are telling about those things, that is renunciation. So Jnana Yoga, that is we have renunciated the work. No work is there. Okay, and we are going to Himalaya. We are doing sadhana. We are meditation. We are doing for accumulating the knowledge. Okay, accumulating the knowledge. And above that Jnana Yoga is the Ashtanga Yoga. Okay, Ashtanga Yoga, the exercise, the eight exercises, the eight yogas, the meditators are doing. What they will get from that? Mystic siddhis. They will get mystic siddhis. Okay, and above that is the bhakti yoga. Okay, so this is the yoga ladder. So we have compared earlier in the first level one that Jnana yoga is like sunshine. Okay, so we are knowing something is there, some energy is there, like that only. We are not knowing fully. That is called Brahman realization. Okay, and in the Ashtanga yoga, the realization of God is there. That is called Paramatma realization. We are searching for God. We know God is there, but we are searching God inside us. That is Paramatma form. We are searching. Okay, like sun disk. And when Bhakti yoga we are doing, they are entering the sun planet. We are searching for the presiding deity there. Okay, so that is called Bhagwan form. So three forms are there. So Jnana yoga people are searching for the sun sign form. That is the Brahman form. The Ashtanga yoga are searching for the Paramatma form. And Bhakti yoga is directly going to the Bhagwan form. Okay, so these are the extended yoga ladder. And if you progressive yoga ladder, so when Karma Kanda is there, Sakam Karma Yoga is there, Niskam Karma Yoga is there. Okay, and along with the Niskam Karma Yoga, you are doing the Sadhana Bhakti. And what will happen? You will directly go to the Bhakti part. So both things, because you know that you are doing the Bhakti, so you are directly related to now to Bhavana Bhakti and Prema Bhakti. Okay, so animal life, unrestricted sense gratification. Karma Kanda, regulated sense gratification, and then Sakam Karma Yogi, devotee with selfish desire, and Niskam Karma Yogi, devotee with no desire for the personal interest. Okay, so these are there. Then they will go to Bhakti Yoga. So this is called progressive yoga ladder. And last is the express elevator. Yoga ladder is there. The yoga ladder we have seen, and one is the express elevator. So what is the elevator? Let's see. Animal life is there. Then animal life. We are in the animal life. Then after the animal life, we have association of pure devotees. Now association of pure devotees there, and after that we surrender to Krishna. Then what will happen? Then directly we will start with sadhana bhakti, bhava bhakti, and prema bhakti. We have started doing the sadhana. Okay, so then we go to the bhava bhakti, and then we go to prema bhakti. Okay. So this is section 3. If a person is now, why we should work? What is the meaning of work? So the question which arise in the mind. So let's read the question, then we'll go to the chapter. Okay. If a person is too attached to the material life and cannot perform Niskam Karma Yoga, for them, Krishna described the yoga ladder from the lowest rung and gradually moving higher from Karma Kanda to Karma Yoga. Okay. Srila Prabhupada ends all the purport in section 3 by glorifying the supremacy and the need of Sankirtan Yajna. So, Srila Prabhupada is saying that the Karma Kanda is there, but Srila Prabhupada is explaining those things in the mood of Bhakti Yoga, okay, because he knows that Bhakti Yoga is only the thing which is required. Okay.
Saha yajna praja shrishva purovacha prajapatihi anena prasavishyadvam yeshavostvishta kamadhuka.
So Krishna is saying, in the beginning of creation, the Lord of all creatures sent forth generation of men and demigods along with sacrifices for Vishnu and blessed them by saying, be thou happy by this yajna, because its performance will bestow upon you everything desirable for living happily and achieving liberation. So Krishna is not describing the process of sacrifices. So Krishna was telling that work you should do, but you should do the work as a sacrifice. So what is the meaning of sacrifice? Krishna is not describing the sacrifice part. Okay. So he's saying in the beginning of creation, Lord has sent the men as well as demigod in this material world. Okay. So demigods were given some special powers so that they can help the man, and man, after getting the grains and the fruits, they will again do some sacrifices to the demigods, and in this way some coordination will be there between the demigods and as well as man, and so that the creation will run. Okay, so demigods will give rain, demigods will give sunlight, demigods will give the other thing favorable so that the person can grow grains, and after growing the grain, person will give sacrifices, they will please the demigods, and in this way the demigod will be pleased and they will give the again rain and all the things. Okay, so there will be coordination between the demigods and the man, and in this way this material world will be running. So Krishna is saying in the beginning of the creation, the Lord of all creatures sent forth of men and demigods along with the sacrifices for Vishnu and bless them by saying, be thou happy in this yajna sacrifice, because its performance will bestow upon you everything desirable for living happily and achieve liberation. So let's see the next.
Devan bhavayatanena te deva bhavayantu vaga parasparam bhavayantaga shreya paramavapsyata.
The demigods, being pleased by the sacrifice, will also please you. So if you do sacrifice to the demigods will, what they will do? They will be pleased. Then they will cooperate. Okay, so and thus by cooperation between the man and demigod, prosperity will reign for all. So there will be cooperation between the men and the demigods, and then this world will go on like that. Okay. So by performance of yajna, all activity become purified, as it is stated in the Veda. Okay. So if we are doing the performance of yajna, then our activity is also. So we are doing our activity, we are doing our work as a sacrifice. So when we are doing our work as a sacrifice, then what will happen? Then demigods will also please. And so all one thing is there. All the yajna are meant for the Vishnu. All the because Vishnu is the Swami of all the yajna. But through demigods, some yajna will reach Vishnu, and so that will be the process. Okay, so these things are there. So by performance of activity and as a sacrifice to Vishnu, what will happen? Your activity will become purified. So what will happen after purification? All activity will be purified and by performance of yajna, once eatable becomes sanctified. So if you are doing the sacrifices, then what will happen? Once eatable becomes sanctified, your eatables are also sanctified. By eating sanctified food stuff, one's very existence will also become purified. So if you are eating the sanctified food stuff, your existence will also become purified. And by the purification of existence, finite tissue of memory becomes sanctified. And when memory is sanctified, one can think in the path of liberation. So if your memory is also sanctified, you can think in the path of liberation. And all these combined together lead to Krishna consciousness and great necessity of the society. So the ultimately thing is there, if you are doing the sacrifices, then what will happen? This will lead to gradually to in the path of the Krishna consciousness, in the path of the liberation. So this will be there. Okay.
Ishtan bhogan givo deva dasyante yajna bhavitaga tadairtana prasadebhyo yo bhunkte stena eva saga.
The in charge of various necessities of life, the demigods being satisfied by the performance of yajna will supply all necessity to you. But he who enjoys such gifts without offering them to the demigods in turn is certainly a thief. So you are not responsible for all the things, all the fruits. Okay, the person, the men are not responsible for all the things. So if you are doing any, if you are take an example, if you are making anything in the factory, but raw material you are getting from the nature. Okay, if you are making anything, raw material you are getting from the nature. Scientists are not able to design till now organic things. Organic things, the things which are living, scientists are not able to design those things. Scientists cannot design anything which we can eat. Okay, those eating things we will get from the nature only. Okay, so this is a, if you are eating without sacrificing, if you are eating without sacrifice to the demigod, to the Vishnu, then that then you will be called a thief, because you are not acknowledging the person who are behind those things. Okay, so in charge of various necessities of life, the demigods being satisfy the purpose of yajna will supply all the necessity, and when you are doing the sacrifices, they will be satisfied and they will give you all the things necessary for the living. Okay, but he who enjoys such gifts without offering them to the demigods in return is certainly a thief. Okay.
Yajna shishtashinas santo muchyante sarva kilbishaygi punyate te tvagam papa ye pachantyatma karana.
So now this loka will tell why we should eat only the things which are first offered to Krishna, first offered. Okay, so why we should only eat the things which are prasadam. Okay, so let's see. The devotee of Lord are released from all kind of sin because they eat food which are offered first for the sacrifice. So the devotee will eat only the things which are offered for sacrifice first. With the food which are offered for sacrifice first, they will eat, and in this way there won't be any sin. They are released from the sin. And others who prepare food for personal sense enjoyment will really eat only sin. So there is a very hard statement there. Okay, in the Bhagavad Gita, the person who are eating things without first giving to Krishna, without first offering to Krishna, without acknowledging those food to Krishna, they are eating the sin. They are making sin also when they are eating. Okay, so this is the great. This is a very hard statement Krishna is making here. Okay, that we should eat the things which are given, which are offered to Krishna first. Okay, without offering, if you are eating, then you are eating on the sin. Okay.
Annad bhavanti bhutani parjanyadanna sambhavaga yajñād bhavati parjanyo yajña karma samudbhavaga.
All living bodies subsist on the food grains. So all living bodies subsist on the food grain. Nothing is there which scientists cannot can make. Food grain scientists cannot make. Okay, this is the thing. Any organic thing scientists are not able to make yet. Okay, which are, so all living bodies subsist on food grain which are produced from the rains, and rains are produced by the performance of sacrifice. Okay, so we subsist on the grain, and the grain are the byproduct from the rain, and the rain are given to us by the demigods. And demigods, how they are giving the rain? They to Krishna. Okay, and demigods are pleased. The God is pleased by the sacrifices. Okay, and the sacrifices are born of the prescribed duty. So this is the cycle which we have shown in the next slide. So food is there, Okay, food is produced, grains are there. Grains is produced from the rain. Okay, and rain are produced with the sacrifices. We are giving the sacrifices to the Lord. And the Lord is giving us the rain, and rain from the rain we are producing the grain. And the sacrifices, we are doing our duty as a sacrifices. Okay, so we are doing our duty and giving the fruit to Krishna. So that is the sacrifice. We are doing our duty as a sacrifice. And sacrifices, the duties are born of the Vedas. So Vedas, from the Veda, we know what is our duty, what is not our duty, and Veda is Krishna himself. Okay, so this is the cycle. And after we are from the grain, we are making food. We are offering first to Krishna, and then we are eating the prasadam, so that we are not eating the same. Okay, so this is the cycle. So whenever we have food, we should offer to Krishna, and then Krishna will again give the rain, grain, and food, and then will again give the food to Krishna. And if you are not doing these things, then what is happening? Then we are like thief. Okay, we are only taking the things which we are getting from Krishna, and we are not offering to Krishna. So that is the thing. So if we are forgetting Krishna, that is called we are like a thief. Okay.
कर्म ब्रह्मोद्भवं विद्धि ब्रह्माक्षर समुद्भवं तस्मात् सर्वगतं ब्रह्म नित्यं यज्ञे प्रतिष्ठितम्.
Regulated activity as prescribed in the Vedas, and the Vedas are directly manifested from the Supreme Personality of God. Consequently, the all-pervading transcendence is eternally situated in the act of sacrifice. So, regulated activity, what is the regulated activity? They are prescribed in the Veda, and Veda, by reading Veda, we ultimately come to know Krishna. Okay, so this is the thing. So consequently, all pervading transcendence is eternally situated in the act of sacrifice. So whatever act we are doing, we should do as a sacrifice to Krishna, and then Krishna will be pleased. Like that.
एवं प्रवर्तितं चक्रं नानुवर्त्य गतिगयः अगायुरिन्द्रिया रामो मोघं पार्थ स जीवति.
My dear Arjuna, one who does not follow in human life the cycle of sacrifice, thus established by the Veda, certainly lead to life full of sin, living only for the satisfaction of the sense, such as a person lives in the way. So Krishna is not telling that Arjuna, you have asked me what is good, renunciation or action. So now I'm answering. Renunciation is very, very difficult, Arjuna. You cannot do renunciation because mind is always active. So you cannot keep the mind sitting at a one place. So you should give him some work. So how? So one is renunciation. Renunciation is very, very difficult. Now the second part, work. Work you should do according to the Vedas, according to the Varnashram system. Okay, and the work result you should do as a duty, and it should be done as a sacrifice to the Vishnu. So these things are there. So this is what Krishna was saying. So section 3 till section 3 we have read, and section 4 to section 4, this section we will read tomorrow. Okay, so Niskanta we are going to set correct example, and then about the lust we will read tomorrow. Okay, so not tomorrow, next week we'll read. Okay, so till we'll read till now. So I hope you have understood till now, and you can go through the chapter from tomorrow. Second chapter number 2. Some part were there, and chapter number 3 half part is there. So you can go from tomorrow all those things, and whenever if you have any doubt, Mataji will be posting the link for asking your questions. So you can ask the question there, and we will take those questions on the Saturday. Okay, after the class. So if you have any question related to the question or related to the chapter, or if you want, you can ask after reading the chapter. Okay. Depends on you. And sadhana chart you should fill always, so that you will be knowing what you are doing. Okay. Yeah, any question? Or you will ask after reading. Depends on you. You can use the chat which you can answer. If you don't have any question, you can ask after the reading. If you have question related to whatever I taught you, in that if you have any confusion, you can ask. Yeah, anyone, you can raise your hand, or any comment you have, you can comment about that, or if you have any questions. So both have a comment or question. So chat is open for the comment or as well as question. Do you have to fill sadhana chat every day? Give attendance, Mataji. Attendance link is given, not given attendance link. Mataji has already given attendance. Do you have to fill sadhana chat every day? Mataji, sadhana chat is for once in a week, no Mataji? Or daily?
For L2, it is once a week, Prabhu. For L3, it is every day.
Yeah, for level 2, it is once in a week.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, assignment questions, where do we get, Prabhuji?
Assignment question? Assignment level 2 link will be there, no Mataji?
There is a quiz we could find, but is there a separate link for assignment?
No, that is only. That is only, no Mataji? Nandita Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji. It is the only assignment, and it's a very well thought about and done assignment. It's really good to do it after you read the translation and purport, Mataji.
Yes. But the level, aim of the level 2 is you should read the chapters. Okay, you should go through the chapters so that once before this level 2 ends, once you read the Bhagavad Gita, then only you will be able to understand level 3. Level 3 is like we will be collecting one theme and we will be collecting all where the theme appeared. Okay, so those things we will be doing. So before level 3, you should once read Bhagavad Gita in level 2 so that level 3 will be easier. Okay. Yeah, any question? No question, Mataji. Maybe, probably they will ask after the reading.
I have a question, if you
Yes,
don't
Mataji.
mind, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, in text 5, you said that we are all active souls. This is
Yes.
slightly related to chapter 2 as well, because we talked a lot about the soul. Now, we all have a soul, and Krishna is in all of us, every living entity. And we are influenced by Maya, which dictates our actions, because we are not in the stage where we can overcome Maya, or, we have a distractive mind. We have so many other things to, make us stray away. But how is it that I know everything is as per Krishna's will, but how is it that human souls are so different? So different. I mean, extremes. There are very kind people. There are very people in devotional service. There are very humble people. Whereas it's the opposite as well. I mean, there are very arrogant people. There are very evil people, and so many evil things happen in the world. So why this such a big? I mean, Krishna is in all of us. We do have free will, but there is such an extreme difference. Why is this?
Mataji, your question is why different people act differently. That is your question. I can rephrase it, Mataji. That why people, how the soul is similar, all of the soul is similar, but why the people are different. Your question is like that, Mataji.
Yes, Prabhu. When Krishna is within all of us.
Yeah. So one answer, Rhythm Mataji is giving. Mataji, we are in the Mars potential. Yeah, maybe correct. So the answer is like that. The soul is very pure, Mataji. Okay, so soul characteristic and Krishna's characteristic is similar. Satchidanand. The quality wise we are same as Krishna, but quantity wise we are different. That's one thing. Again, whatever work we are doing, that is we are doing under the modes of nature. Okay, so Krishna is again and again saying, whatever work you are doing, that work, that nature, whatever work you are doing, whatever activity you are doing, that depends on the mode of nature in which you are. Okay, so 3 types of mode are there, and one is the mode above those 3 nature mode. Okay, so people act differently according to the mixture only. Okay, so some people will have greater satogun, some people have greater rajogun, some people have greater tamagun. So according to that mixture, people act. Okay, but the soul is pure. Okay, Mataji, and the soul quality and Krishna quality is same. But when the soul comes in the contact with the material nature, it acts under the mode of material nature. Okay, so that is the thing.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Udam here is Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji. We are on different mode of hearing actually. Yes. Bhaktaram Yatna Daksham. Yes. All the yajna is meant for the Krishna. He is the bhokta of all the yajna. Okay. So, okay, we'll meet then next week. And I hope you will read all the chapters and we will have some nice questions related to the chapter. Hare Krishna, Shreya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I wanted to ask that is it possible to attend some other class on the week? Because sometimes I'm working on Saturday, Sundays.
The classes in the week meeting Mataji. Means Saturday, Sunday, our classes will be on Saturday, Sunday Mataji. Anything else you want to ask Mataji?
Okay.
What is, I cannot understand your question Mataji. You are working on Saturday, Sunday. You want those classes to be on some other day?
No, I mean, sometimes I miss the Saturday, Sunday classes. So there are some other, I've seen on the sadhana chart also, they ask about the attendance. Which class do you attend? Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So is it possible for me to attend some other class instead of Saturday, Sunday class when I'm not available on Saturday, Sunday?
I don't think that there are
No,
other days there will be
Prabhuji,
classes.
sorry to
Mataji.
interrupt.
Yes.
Mataji, those classes are different languages and different levels. We have a common attendance link, Mataji. So those
Okay.
teachers are taking different levels at different times and different languages. So I'm
Okay.
not very sure if, and most of the classes, Mataji, are in the evening.
Okay, okay, Mataji. But then my attendance will be like sometimes I miss it. It won't be proper attendance. Can I go to YouTube and go back to the class?
Of course, Mataji, you can just write to me. I'll send you the YouTube recording. You can watch it. And as long as you are doing your sadhana chart, we would definitely know that you are dedicated and are attempting to attend as many classes as possible. So please do be as regular as possible. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mataji.
The links are not open in the YouTube. Okay, so these level 2 links, there are many things which we are discussing. These are meant for the higher level, like level 2, level 3, and the person who have done at least level 1. Because if they directly, these things are not meant for the level 1. Level 1, we have different classes, the 18 days. So these links are not open. I'm not opening these, I'm not keeping the links open in the YouTube, so that it is meant for the people who, for whom it is meant for directly. So we'll be giving the links to the people who are meant for. And these links won't be shared directly in the WhatsApp group also. So if you are dedicated, you can ask Nandita. She will share the link according to that. So only dedicated people, any dedicated person will be sharing. Not, it will be not open for all the people. Okay.
Okay. Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you. And about the level 3, will it be some other books, something else we will be studying?
Yeah, Bhagavad Gita will be studying along with it. Some other books will also be studying. So the books which are required for the level 3. Okay, Mataji, for level 2, only Bhagavad Gita.
Thank you. Hare
If you
Krishna.
don't have the Bhagavad Gita copy, buy it. Okay, because you will you many people will be reading on the soft copy. That is not the proper thing. Buy Bhagavad Gita, copy it to yourself, read it, underline it, make notes. Make notes in the copy. After the class, you can make notes. During the class, you can make notes. Okay, and try to read it seriously. And serious study doesn't come on the soft copies and all. Okay, try to get one Bhagavad Gita copy, because we'll be reading in level 2, we'll be reading in level 3, we'll be reading in level 4, and we will trying to read from this different perspective all time. Okay, so try to get a Bhagavad Gita copy and try to read from the level 2 when we are ending level 2. Once you should read all the whole the book you should read when we are ending level 2. Okay, so that level 3 will be easy, level 4 will be easy for you. Okay, and we can give attention to the some different other books which are also important. in the level 3 and level 4. So try to finish level 2, try to finish the Bhagavad Gita book level 2. And if you don't have copy, buy today. But this is if you are doing serious study, and if you are doing on the soft copy, that is not recommended. Okay, so try to buy. Okay,
Okay.
and get if you are doing still on the chanting on the hand only, try to buy mala. This is the basic process. Okay, try to buy mala, try to buy bead bags. Okay, so that you can practice it regularly, because practice is not very difficult. Regularly you cannot practice. If you are serious about practicing, if you're serious about reading, if you're serious about understanding Bhagavad Gita, if you're serious about applying those principles in your life, try to buy the book, try to buy the mala, and try to buy the bags. Okay.
Okay.
We already have the link for the level 1. Level 1 people, we already have the link to buy. So you can buy through that link also. So you will get the Bhagavad Gita copy, you will get the mala, you will get the bead bags, you will get other 2 books also. Those books are very, very excellent. So whenever I go to temple, whenever I'm asking people, have you read Bhagavad Gita? No, I cannot understand Bhagavad Gita. I tell them, try to buy these 2 books, that Science of Self-Realization and Perfect Question, Perfect. These 2 very, very excellent book, very, very nicely written. And these are the conversation between Prabhupada and other people. So very, very nicely written, very, very, very clear, concept very clear. Okay, so try to read those books. And the Perfect Question, Perfect Answer, you can finish in 1 day. Okay, 4 to 5 hours. If you're sitting in 1 go, you can finish. So interesting it is. So try to buy the books, okay, and try to get a hard copy, try to get a mala, try to get a feedback, and try to be serious. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So we'll meet. If you have any question, just raise your hand. We'll talk. Otherwise, we'll meet next week.
No questions in the chat, Prabhuji.
Any confusion? Any comment? Any you can ask? No. Okay. So Mataji, we'll meet next week.
Yes,
thank
Prabhu.
you.
Just unmuting all. So one for chanting. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama.
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
So
Rama
thank
Rama.
you.
Thank you for the
Hare
class,
Krishna
Prabhuji.
Mataji, Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Mataji for hosting. Thank you, Chitra Mataji, for recitation.
Thank you for the class, Prabhuji.